Tonight I'm making a vegetarian Mexican lasagna. I've got this recipe from Nigella and I absolutely love and adore it. I will start off with some olive oil, and I'm going to add a little bit of chili infused olive oil, and then I am going to fry my onions. I used 1 onion, and I think I'm also going to add a little bit of spring onions. So let's get the cooking started. I have finely chopped some spring onions. I've used 3. I've got 1 white onion boiling away, cooking away, and I found a red onion in my fridge that I forgot about, so I've added that as well. I just love the red onions because of the sweetness. It just gives the whole onion mixture such a beautiful taste. So I'm just going to add the spring onions now as well, and then they can just I'll just leave them all in until they become nice and soft and translucent, and then we will continue from there. And before I forget, I must just show you that I am doing my regular wine that inspires me to do my cooking. So please don't forget to grab a nice glass of wine. This is a Sauvignon Blanc again. As I'm not using fresh coriander, I'm using the spice. So I'm just going to add some now with the onions. I'm also going to add my salt and pepper now. I don't have a red pepper to add to the mixture, so I'm just going to leave that. Fortunately, I have this red onion now, so there's a little bit of color. And then I'm just going to let it cook a little longer, and then I am going to add the tomatoes, the tomato and onion mix that I use. I wish I could let you smell this wonderful smell of the coriander mixed with the olive oil and the onions. It just smells divine. So even if you love fresh coriander, just make this recipe. Try it once with the coriander spice, and oh, just get that lovely aroma. It is wonderful. I have added 2 cans of 410 grams of tomato and onion mix, and I am just going to add perhaps half a tin. This is just 1/4 of a tin. I'm just going to of water, so I'm just going to see first. I don't want this to be too runny. I think 1/4 of a tin of, you know, just the tin that I've used. I've just added 1/4 of that full of water into this mixture. So the recipe says a lot more water, but then I find that it's really too runny. So I'll just check this and see if the water cooks away a little bit, and if necessary I'll add a little bit more water. So you can really decide if you like the sauce very runny. You're welcome to add some more water, but I just find that it's nicer if it's not so runny. I am going to add tomato paste instead of ketchup. This is a 50 gram. So I will add about 30 grams of this, and if I think it's necessary, I'll even add all of this, because it will also give the sauce a nice rich red color. I've turned the stove to a lower heat. The sauce are bubbling away. The sauce is bubbling away. Oh, my English language. I've added some more water. And I'm just now going to mix the black beans. I've drained them, and I'm going to add some nice sweet corn kernels, and I'm going to mix it with the cheese. And yes, then we're going to start assembling this nice lasagna. I think I've got more than a cup of cheese here that I'm going to add to the mixture, and then I'll just grate some more cheese to put on top. As I always say, you can't be too generous with cheese, so I am using more cheese than the recipe says, but yes, I just love it, and it's going to be so nice. So I've added all of the cheese. I'm going to mix it, and then I'll grate some more cheese to put on top later, and I will show you how we're going to assemble this very delicious dish that we're going to eat just now. You can heat your oven now to 200 degrees, and then you can get some wraps tortilla wraps. I've got 8 here. We won't necessarily use all of them, but just have them ready and handy. If you need all of them, you have them. But you will see how much you need according to the dish that you are going to use when you assemble this. So just make sure you have 8, and then we'll use however much we need. If you have a round dish, it will work well. I'm using a square dish, and then you are just going to, I use a soup spoon, that works well, and then you're just going to place a layer of the sauce inside of your dish. Just fill the whole bottom of it with the sauce. I have it here on the stove next to the pot with the sauce. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so now I've filled the bottom of the dish with that. Then you're going to take your tortillas. You get bigger tortillas. Normally I prefer the bigger ones because that will fill the whole of this dish. But yes, now, yeah, this is perfect. It's fine. So I'm using that, and then you will put another layer of, you'll just layer it, not too thick because you want to make more than 1 or 2 layers. So I'm just spooning in some of the sauce to cover the tortilla, and then you are going to cover that with your mixture. So you're just going to put a nice thin layer on. As I say, we want to at least do 2 or 3 layers. So I'm just spreading it out. Oh, doesn't it look great? Okay, so I've just placed it everywhere where the tortilla is. We will have on the sides, we'll have some more sauce, but the sauce is delicious, so you can just pour it over in the end. Okay, so I've done that. Yes, and then you can continue. You'll take another wrap and place it on top of that. Just get it out here. There you are. So you just place it on top, and you will then just scoop in some more of the nice tomato sauce on top of that. Just cover it with it, and then you're going to do another layer of beans, and you're just going to carry on until all your sauce is finished and your bean mixture is also finished. So carry on like this. I'm just going to do that with 2 hands now. It's easier and faster, and then I will show you when it's finished, before I put the cheese on and before we're going to put it in the oven. Delicious, can't wait. I managed to do 3 layers, so I'm going to end off with 1 more layer, 1 more wrap, and then I'm just going to pour the last of the sauce on top of that, and then I'm going to finish it off with cheese. I just have to show you this. This is my audience, 4 Scotties. They absolutely adore cheese. So whenever I open the fridge and I take out the cheese, they know. They don't come for anything else but the cheese. So yes, they always get a little bit of their share, not too much. But we've grated our 2nd helping of cheese, and I'm going to put it over the dish now. This is what the dish looks like now. Generous helping of cheese on top. Fortunately, the Scotties didn't eat all the cheese. So I'm going to put it in the oven now for 40 minutes. And then it's just very important that it must rest afterwards for 10 to 15 minutes before we're going to slice into it. So let's cook. And here it is, straight from the oven. I've got excellent news. At 200 degrees, you only have to bake it for 30 minutes. I normally use my oven on 160, and then it has to be in the oven for 40 minutes. So now it needs to rest for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we can cut into it. In the meantime, you can get some nice guacamole or just plain avo ready that we're going to use with this. You can also, you know, just add a nice green salad or something like that. And then remember that you must get your wine also ready to have it with a nice glass of wine. And I just want to say that if you don't like alcohol, it's not a problem. These days we get the most wonderful alcohol-free wines that you will drink and nobody will even know that you're not having alcohol. So there's always an option. So you can have white wine, red wine with this, or non-alcoholic great wine, and you can enjoy this beautiful dish. This is the finished product with some guacamole. I hope you will enjoy it. And just remember, the recipe says that it's enough for 6 to 8 people, but really, yeah, we 3 and we can almost finish this thing off in one sitting. Okay, if you want to see the recipe, read the recipe, just go to my blog. I will post the link below. Enjoy, l'chaim.